Complicating the Narratives is a journalistic practice that can transform news coverage about controversial issues. It helps you tell stories with nuance, stories that generate understanding where there may be misunderstanding or confusion or even fear about a divisive issue. The news media typically dwells on extreme views, hardly exploring the motivations and lived experiences behind those perspectives. The result is often a false impression of polarization, and that leaves the audience with two reactions: fear and distrust. In reality, people may share far more common ground than they realize, and journalists can help them come to that realization. By using techniques and strategies from experts in conflict mediation and psychology, journalists can listen better, build trust, ask more revealing questions, effectively introduce opposing viewpoints, and embrace complexity in their stories. Journalists complicate the narrative through 4 pillars: listening differently, going beneath a problem, embracing complexity, and countering confirmation bias. When journalists listen to understand their source better and get clarity about the underlying issues behind an emotion or perspective, they can paint a more accurate picture of their interview subject. Pillar 1, listening differently, centers on looping, a communication technique that reflects back to your source what you understood and checks in to see if you got it right.
When I repeat the entire context and say my own understanding and repeat that, the source has an opportunity to either one, expand on what they said before. Sometimes sources will take that opportunity to give you more detail or give you an anecdote.
Humans are complicated. Discovering a person's motivations, interests, values, and beliefs, not just their position on one issue, helps journalists uncover better information that does not portray people as one-dimensional. In Pillar 2, we go beneath the problem by asking 4 kinds of interview prompts to complicate the narrative. 22 curious questions designed to draw out more meaningful responses and respectfully challenge stereotypes.
The people who already have a preconceived notion of how the interview is going to go are the ones that are most impressed to feel listened to at the end of the day. And that's really what these deeper questions do. They allow you to get beyond the, I don't like X and I don't like Y type of reporting and really understand someone.
Pillar 3, embracing complexity, is about exploring the complex sides of an issue, in addition to looking for the facts. Journalists must explain to their community that the issue is complicated, that there's no one way or right way to think about it. This provides context and understanding, so audiences get the whole story. Journalists can also widen the lens by examining a topic from a different geographic location or a different time in history. Seeking out voices directly affected by the conflict is critical. Also, including details shared by sources, such as metaphors they mentioned, can provide fascinating context.
Context is really a journalist's best friend. And if you can explore that context and get a fuller understanding of it for yourself, and then find a way to convey that to readers, that's just going to improve your journalism and improve your story.
In Pillar 4, we seek to counter confirmation bias in our reporting, so our audiences don't dismiss our coverage solely because it doesn't confirm their pre-existing ideas. First, use graphics to show and not just tell factual information, which may be hard for people to process or accept. Organize inclusive gatherings, either virtually or in person, to discuss a complicated or divisive issue in the community. Keep in mind, this must be done with care to prevent further divides. Encouraging people to listen with the intent to understand and to ask curious questions are ways to keep them open to hearing about viewpoints that differ from their own. By discussing the issue together, using the pillars of complicating the narratives, people may come up with solutions together.
I think with Pillar 4 and countering confirmation bias, it's really about bringing people together and sharing a space with people so that everyone feels heard, and also creating stories that feel most representative for the communities.
Finally, take the time to self-reflect. Think about how your own biases may show up in a story. Get a colleague or newsroom leader to challenge your framing or story angle. We are all human, so cognitive bias affects everyone. Complicating the narratives in your reporting helps audiences understand opposing views and engage more with the news. And our aim is to lead our societies to healthier social or political debates, and therefore to a healthier, vibrant democracy.